Welcome to FBB Forum. My name is David, and this podcast is dedicated to all the amazing women competing in bodybuilding. If you like this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow my YouTube and Instagram pages. I'm very excited to welcome back a guest that I had on as one of my first interview subjects about November 2022 was when we last talked, Cara Kerluck. Um, Cara is a Canadian women's physique pro, and um, let me see. And of course, I'm really pleased to see her again. And she really surprised me by returning to the bodybuilding stage after a 2-year break, just a few weeks ago at the Vancouver Island Pro Show, and where she placed a very respectable 6th place against a very stacked lineup of amazing competitors. Cara made her pro debut at the 2022 Texas Pro, and her most recent competition prior to Van Isle was the 2023 Toronto Pro. She also recently went through some major back surgery, so we'll discuss that too, and also talk about maybe where she wants to compete next. Welcome, Cara. It's really great to have you here again.
Thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah, we were talking. Oh, and also, I can't forget. Who do you have on your lap there?
So this is Kevy, or Kevin. He is my lovely little angel, my Pomeranian, my little co-pilot in life.
Oh, he's so cute. He's adorable.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's so good on your lap too. He's
He
just chilling.
is.
I might have to ask him questions later. We'll have to see.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, like I said, you surprised me by competing at Van Isle. And when did you decide to return to stage? And how long was your prep? You really looked amazing at that show.
Thank you. So the plan to return to stage was kind of something that happened slowly after my back surgeries. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to compete again. Obviously, my health and well-being is always number one.
Mhm.
So if I don't have that, then I can't move forward with competing. So I really had to take some time to really focus on my rehab, my recovery for my back, so that I could have just longevity in my overall health.
Mhm.
So after I went through the rehab process and things started to feel better, I wanted to do a little bit of an experiment of just pulling off the body fat to see what sort of muscle shape and density and size I had left after not being able to have like a growth season or a proper improvement season. So I just started getting my nutrition really nailed down and started training just very lightly again and really going through the process very slowly just to see how my body was going to respond, how my back
Okay.
was going to respond, what it could handle, what it couldn't. So it was really more or less like it was a project and an experiment for me to go through and see what I had left.
Mhm.
And as I started going through the process, my body muscle memory really, really is a thing. Things started to come back and things started to feel really good. I
Yeah.
developed a lot more connection between my mind, my muscle, and started to become way more in tune again with my body.
Okay.
So I just really kind of let my higher guidance and my intuition guide me through what was going to be the best path forward for me to reach my highest potential.
Okay.
And I really put a lot of energy into feeding my body things that were organic, energy aligning foods, colorful foods, really making sure that I was staying aligned with my mind, body, and soul.
Okay.
After going through a lot of different types of healing, like physical healing, spiritual healing, and emotional healing during my process,
Mhm.
I realized that to have the best possible outcome, I needed to be aligned in all three of those areas.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so I continued to do energetic work. I really found a meditation practice that really helped me focus and heal And then the bug was put in my ear about the Vancouver Island show. And I wasn't sure on it at first. I thought, if my back can handle it, getting to the condition that you need to be in on stage, I wasn't sure how my body was going to be able to physically handle it.
Hmm.
So I just kind of kept pushing forward and things still kept feeling really, really good. Body was responding very quick, like, and then yeah, I showed up in Victoria with the best conditioning that I feel I've had to date,
Yeah.
and a little bit of work to do in areas where we've lost a little bit of size,
Uh-huh.
just due to the surgeries. But um, yeah, it was just a really beautiful spiritual process that I enjoyed every moment of. And I learned so much about my body and different ways that I could do things to create the desired outcome that I wanted.
Great.
So yeah, it was a really amazing process all around, and I nurtured it and embraced it, and it gave me a beautiful outcome and a beautiful presentation. So I'm just really, really incredibly happy with the result of this whole process that I just went through.
That's terrific. Yeah, you really look great on stage,
Thank
and I
you.
think you're right. I think you were the most conditioned that I've seen you. I forget how tall are you?
I'm over five, so I'm just under 5'10". So I'm just over 5'9", between 5'9" and 5.5, 5'9.5".
Yeah, so you're pretty tall for the compared to the other ladies. So,
Yeah, a little bit taller for sure.
and I think it's tough competing against some of those shorter ladies too, because you have to put more muscle on to kind of compete with some of the shorter ladies, I think, like
Yeah,
Barbara Minaj. I mean, like,
absolutely. I mean, she's incredible, obviously. Like she's such a legend. And I mean, to even step on stage with her
Mhm.
and be in the same lineup as her
Yeah,
and be able to share the stage with her was, I mean, like it felt like I was on the Olympia stage really at that
does.
point, because
Yeah.
stepping on stage with Olympians and that are going to get their qualifications to go again,
Mhm.
is almost like stepping on stage at the Olympia for me. So as a newer
Yeah.
pro, these are women that I have watched coming up in the sport that I've respected and loved and idolized. And yeah, to be able to step on stage with them was just an absolutely epic proportions. So, and yeah, Barbara just looked, she always looks amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. I actually had
she's fantastic.
an interview with the second place finisher, Nadine Phoenix,
Yes,
today too,
she
and
is
she's amazing.
incredible too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, her posing was just unbelievable, like
I
too.
know.
So yeah,
She told me she didn't even choreograph that. She just kind of did a little freestyle, and it's like,
yeah.
what? It's amazing. Wow.
Sometimes those are the best ones where you're just kind of in the moment and feeling it, and you're not overthinking it, and things just tend to happen and flow. And yeah,
It was impressive. Yeah, that whole lineup was just really amazing. And I thought you really held your own against those ladies. So you looked great. Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Um, Now in terms of your back surgery, when did you have the
Yeah.
surgery done and why did you need it?
So I had two surgeries, and the first one was not even a week after I got off the stage in Toronto.
Yeah.
It was a disc injury, and so I had it was a disc injury essentially that I ignored for too long. So I knew that there was something up at the beginning of my Toronto Pro prep. Actually, I
Hmm.
just didn't know what it was, and it was like I felt like it just a tweak in the back, kind of, and not really anything that I'm not used to.
Hmm.
But as the time went, the symptoms just started getting more severe. The pain started getting worse, and it was no matter what I tried, just
Mm.
wasn't. It was just getting worse.
Yeah.
So there was points where I was kind of like really losing function, even in my right leg.
Oh,
And
really?
the pain
Wow.
every time I would walk was like like electrocution almost.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, like all through my body. That would start in my back, and it would radiate all the way down to my feet and like up my back.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
So
Mm,
yeah, so obviously there was something there that I was like, okay, this is maybe a little bit more serious than I want to make than I want to believe.
mhm.
But we're already in it for Toronto, so this is something that can wait until after Toronto. Um, and then unfortunately, the flight to Toronto actually really exacerbated everything tremendously.
Really?
And
Oh,
I
wow.
probably shouldn't have actually stepped on stage in Toronto. It was a huge risk for me. I
Mm,
took that risk. I'm so glad I did because the experience was amazing. But
yeah,
also now looking back on it, health and safety wise, for my own health, I probably shouldn't have.
yeah.
But we are here now. And so I went through the surgery. Um, it was, yeah, I blew out a disc and I had severe nerve compression in my L4, L5.
Mm,
It had caused Cara syndrome. So it was much more serious than I thought. And after they had done the imaging, they said, okay, we're going to have you on, we're doing surgery tomorrow.
okay. Wow.
So at
Wow.
that point, I didn't really have time to recover from the show or process the show.
Hmm.
And then I was on the operating table for my back, not knowing when I woke up, okay, am I going to be now not able to train anymore, or like what's going to happen? Like this is quick, this is happening really fast. So I just, I went through that process and I went through the healing and tried to get to training again. I wasn't able to train properly, really, because I started getting symptoms again.
Oh, I see.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, about 3 months after the surgery, I started getting symptoms quite horrible again.
Oh,
And
wow.
then
Okay.
in January of 2025, me and my better half, we went on a trip and we flew. And yet, there, that exacerbated things tremendously again.
Really? Okay.
And
Oh, wow.
yeah, um,
Hmm.
so it was quite interesting. It was the second time when I went through like 5 6 months, or 5 months, sorry, 5 months from January to May was when I had my second surgery.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of different medical testing. Um, in Canada, you really have to advocate for your health here,
Hmm.
as I think you do in any country.
Hmm.
Um, but I kept having to go to the hospital because of the pain and the symptoms, and I started losing my appetite. I wasn't able to eat properly, and
Really? Wow.
I wasn't sleeping because I couldn't get comfortable. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
sleep on my side or my back or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So after months of you know with doctors and testing, when they don't know what's wrong, they kind of like to make you scared that it could be something, much worse, or we got to do all these testing for this and this. And
Hmm.
so for a few months, I went through a kind of a dark time where I thought, okay, maybe this isn't something to do with my back injury now. Maybe there is something that's neurological, or uh,
Hmm.
so they tested me for MS and like
Oh, wow.
neurological disorders and
Hmm.
even brain tumors, which was kind of crazy. And they
Mm.
did all these MRIs and CTs, and
Wow.
then finally we got the right imaging that showed that when they did my original surgery, there was still some disc material in the back that
Oh.
didn't actually absolve. So it had somehow migrated into the spinal column and attached itself to the thecal sac around the spinal cord.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was creating a lot of like impact on the spinal nerve roots again, and the pain the second time around. Um, I don't wish that kind of pain on anybody in the world because it wasn't something that I ever wanted to experience or I ever want to know that anybody experiences again.
Yeah, I understand. Wow, I bet that was terrible. Yeah.
So it was the second time was something that I really had to try to, like, my better half and my family. They did an amazing job supporting me and keeping me in a really positive mindset. Because when you go through those things, you almost kind of look at your own mortality or your own, like, okay, is there something that's going to be completely life altering to where I'm never going to be the same again. And do I have to come to terms with that and be at peace with that? And whatever the outcome is whatever the outcome is. And then we just have to figure out a path forward from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it really had me look at my life and from so many different perspectives.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And then I had the second surgery where they went in and had to cut through all the scar tissue where they went in before and take out all the disc material and unstick it from, where the spinal cord is. And there's a bit of a reherniation up in the L3, L4 they fixed as well.
Okay.
So after that second one, now honestly, my back feels better than ever.
Really? Okay,
I really
good.
I've had to completely change the way I train. Like it's the way that I train now is like I lift about 30 to 35% of the weight that I used to lift.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay.
but
Wow.
I go into my training sessions with like the intention in which I train now and really focusing on activating every single muscle fiber that I possibly can to its
Mm,
maximum
okay.
and really focusing on muscle control and slowing things down and full activation. And there's movements that simply I just shouldn't be doing anymore. So I
Yeah.
don't back squat, barbell squat. I don't deadlift anymore.
Okay.
There's a lot of movements that I stay away from because I need to protect my back.
Yeah,
But I've been able to really make some serious progress in that regards, doing
great.
things that way, which has really, really, really blown my mind.
That's terrific. That's great. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great that you're not really dealing with pain now.
No, I'm not dealing with pain.
Great.
I still do all like everything that I had to do for physio, and rehab and recovery. I still incorporate all of those things into my daily training.
Okay.
I've never forgotten about those. And I've started really incorporating different things into my training, to really improve my like thoracic mobility and flexibility and like my ranges of motion and just really making sure that everything around there stays protected, and safe and just so I can so I can be a normal functioning, even just, human being in society. Because when you are incapacitated due to an injury where you can't even go to the bathroom on your own, and as a 35-year-old woman,
Mhm.
being a pro bodybuilder, when you're in the hospital and you can't go to the
Mhm.
bathroom on your own or at home and you can't go to the bathroom on your own, it's very humiliating.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
so it's, to come out the other side of that is really, yeah, I will do anything that I have to do to keep being able to do what I do, and keep everything as healthy as I can.
That's terrific. That's really cool. No, I'm glad that everything worked out for you.
Me
I
too.
think
Thank you.
I couldn't tell on stage, but can you see the scar on your back?
I Yeah, I do have it's about a scar that's about that big.
Okay.
It's down on my lower back. It's, the how it's healed has been amazing. But again, I think that's just I'm really trying to take care of it.
Hmm.
And like scar tissue, this time around, there's is definitely the healing process physically of the scar and everything around that area. The healing went much better the second time around. There's no like inflammation or, you know, you can see a little bit of a somewhat of a little thing there, but it's not. You can only really see it when I get to the point where I'm like so lean that there's nothing there anymore, and you just see muscle and bone.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
yeah.
No, that's very cool. I'm glad that the surgery worked out for you though, and that you're recovered from it.
Yeah, and then also too, one a person who has a gift beyond measure, was another way that I got back to the stage. And I don't know if you're familiar with Muscle Medic Aesthetics. Peter Sawan is his name. And he is up here in Canada. He is out of Edmonton. And I started seeing him actually before the Toronto Pro. I think it was the Toronto Pro. Yes. And he's an RMT, but he's got a very special gift and he has his way of doing things. And he was absolutely like integral in my recovery from my surgery. And he started seeing me before my back surgery, so he was able to like see me through it all. And when I came out of this second surgery, especially with all like the loss of connection between my mind, my muscle, and everything like that, he was such a huge part in helping me regain that my muscle connection again and pulling
Right.
things out that had gotten really tight. And he's a fascial wizard, I swear. And he was another a huge important like part of getting me back on stage. And he was there with me in Victoria as well. So it was really amazing for him to be able to be there too.
That's terrific. That's great.
Yeah.
It's like he really helped you a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did, and he does, and yeah, he is incredible. And oh yeah, I'll be continuing to see him because whatever he does is magical.
That's terrific. That's great. Very
Yeah.
cool. Um, Now you mentioned about coaching yourself. I was
Yeah.
curious, why did you decide to go on that route instead of working with a prep coach?
Well, so I worked with Jamie Pinder for the last 3 years,
Yeah.
and she was somebody who her and I were so aligned in how we approached things and how just our energy really aligned. And for 3 years, she was the most incredible coach, friend, mentor, human being. Sorry, I might get a little emotional here. Just because
Okay.
she actually really like she's one of the biggest parts of how I'm where I am today.
Yeah.
And she went through back surgeries as well. She had serious back injuries and multiple surgeries. And she did leave the business of coaching. And after training and being with her, she had taught me so much about how to approach, a prep. And I took really, really valuable things that she taught me along the way. And I just, after really sitting long and going over it, I didn't want to work with another coach because
Mm.
I realized I don't want to start over from scratch with somebody who doesn't know my body.
Yeah.
Um, Her and I, like, she was so in tune with me, and she always knew exactly what was going on with me, physically. And it's really hard to start over with a new coach after you've gone through the healing. And it's such a personal journey for me now that I feel that the only like I trust in myself now so fully
Mm.
after what I pulled off in Victoria that I don't know if I'll work with another coach. I'm open to
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Um, but I was really able to go within myself and do things in the way that I really felt was best for me.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And I really wanted to see for myself what I was truly capable of pulling off and doing on my own from start to finish.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Because even as a personal, like I do personal training as well, and like I always say, like my job as a coach or a trainer is to get my clients to the point where they feel so confident doing things on their own, they no longer need me anymore, so they can just fly off and they can thrive. And so I thought, well, let's try that with yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Let's try that with yourself and see what happens. And um, I was able to do all my meals in the way that like I felt my body needed to
Hmm.
get the
Yeah.
desired outcome. And I just put all those little pieces together and just fully trusted in myself and wanted to see what was going to be the outcome. of that. And so that's kind of why I coached myself, because I felt at that point I knew my body better than anybody.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
if, especially with the tiny, tiny, tiny little things that you feel from time to time, or, energy things, I wanted to create the vision that I had um, in my mind. I wanted to create my vision and not somebody else's vision of what they thought should be presenting.
Yeah, I
Because
gotcha.
if I was going to step on stage to go to the Olympia, and I have that, what my Olympia physique looks like that I have pictured in my mind, and I wanted to create that on my own, and I wanted to go up on that stage with the best package that I could bring for myself,
Mhm.
and see really like where I stood in my capabilities as a coach, for myself. And
Yeah,
so I think it ended up being quite the success.
I think so. Yeah. The only problem is you have to yell at yourself. You're like, you're not on the diet.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. And it's just, I found myself so much more aligned with my vision.
Yeah.
And every single decision that I made, from, you know, even just tiny little decisions in my day-to-day life. Okay, is this decision that, or what I'm doing, is that going to propel me forward to that desired outcome, or is it
Mhm.
going to block me from that desired outcome? So that's
Yeah.
kind of how I approached every decision that I was making through my prep, in regards to training, in regards to my nutrition. And sometimes I would have these strangest little messages come through, telling me, okay, because I've always been one to really like overtrain and not know when to put on the brakes. And
Okay.
there would be
Yeah.
things that I would never normally do in a prep, uh, because there's that, okay, I'm not lean enough. Okay, maybe, I need to push a little harder. Whereas maybe a coach would say, actually, no, you need to pull and you need to pump the brakes.
Yeah.
And so it was really finding that balance between knowing, being a coach and being your own coach and client at the same time, and finding where, like, that middle ground of where you need to push and where you need to pull back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it
I
was just,
understand.
there would be times I would be cleaning the house, and I would have a message that would say, your body needs carbs tonight, and you need a lot of carbs, so you're going to have this, this, and this. And then so
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
listen to that, and I would try it, and then the result in the morning would be, holy crap, wow, that worked.
Yeah, I gotcha. Uh-huh.
So I honestly, I rolled with that, and I utilized a mixture of my knowledge and my intuition and my energetic work, and I kind of married them all together to create um this path for myself. Yeah, there's no other way to say it. It just turned out good.
Yeah, definitely. It worked out good for sure. No, you
Yeah,
looked fantastic in Vancouver, or Victoria, I should say. Yeah,
yeah,
that's terrific. No, I'm glad to hear that. And it sounds like it's
yeah.
working well for you.
It is.
Um,
Yeah,
Now, will you compete this year? Or I know you might not be able to say yet, but would you
yeah.
like to compete this year?
I honestly, yes, I would love to compete this year. I have a feeling that my season's not over. I feel big things coming. Obviously, the dream for us pros is that Olympia stage, and the Olympia stage was my dream ever since I saw Dana Lynn Bailey on the Olympia stage on my Facebook for the first time back in 2013.
Uh-huh.
So, obvious that is the dream. And you know the more I do this, and the more shows I do, and the better I do, and the more I kind of move my way up, the more it's like I really feel, okay, you know what, this dream is within reach, and this is something that is possible for me. So let's keep pushing for it in the best, most healthiest way possible. And just, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's get there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love to get to the Olympia. That'd be nice this year, next year. It'd be great.
That would be fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm also not getting any younger, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
I want to have longevity in the sport, but yes, I'm not getting any younger. Well, I'm 35 now. I'm going to be 36 this year. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of these young girls coming up, and, it's my clock is ticking a little bit,
Yeah.
but I want to make the most of the career that I can, like while I can, and while my body is still, uh, functioning and really well and responding really well. So I want to make the most out of what I can, while I can, while still, focusing on quality over the quantity of shows that I do. So,
Yeah. I
you
got you.
know, instead of doing like 5 or 6 shows where, maybe I could come in better, I would rather do like two and really make, good 2 or 3 and do good, amazing improvements in those. And then instead of doing like 5 or 6 shows just to try to get that Olympia qualification, I would rather make sure that
Yeah.
every time I step on that stage, it's like, okay, holy shit, you were better than the last time, and then I step on stage again. Yeah, you beat it the last time. I always want to continue making improvements,
Yeah.
um,
I got you.
every
Yeah.
time I step on stage. So I try to take the quality over the quantity,
Hmm.
in regards to shows, but I also want to make the most out of what I can,
Hmm.
while I can, and really, get up on that Olympia stage and, present a show stopping physique that I know that I can create. So,
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I think that's good strategy too. I think that's smart.
mm,
Yeah. Um, I think since we last talked, you can't really, you're not eligible by points anymore because they took away the point system.
yes.
And
Yeah.
I was wondering, how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I don't, there's always, there's always good things, and, things that are kind of, about everything. Um, but I think the point system was great, but I do, for the Olympiad stage, I think it's great to have just the top one of every, because
Yeah.
really, when you have the top one of every Olympia qualifier, you're
Hmm.
really, really showing and showcasing the best of the best on that stage. And it's not to
Yeah.
say that, I mean, at a pro level, everybody looks incredible and they bring amazing physiques and they're incredible athletes and artists, and then for the Olympia stage, it's just that top one, right? Like it used to be in, back in the day, it used to be just the top one, or, you
Mhm.
had to go through, like, you had to win this to get to provincials, or in the amateur leagues, you work your way up. And then, so I do think, yeah, I mean, it's too bad that there's not more opportunity, because when the point system is taken away for athletes who, may not win, but still really present. Like, because when you get to that top, there's the things are so minuscule, like, minuscule, and the physiques just look so insane that it's
Mhm.
just the tiny little things that separate sometimes the top two. So sometimes you
Yeah.
get to a show and you look at the top two or top three and you think, like, all three of those, like, they could be, they're Olympia quality, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's,
That's
yeah,
great.
it's unfortunate in some aspects, but in other ways, I think it's good too. So
Yeah.
I can see it from both sides, and I can understand why they did it, and I can understand why they had the point system too. So, it is what it is,
Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
follow that and how they want to run things. You just got to go with the flow,
Yeah.
because
That's
worrying
true.
about it and thinking about it in a negative way isn't really going to do anything positive for your,
Hmm.
as an athlete, right? Because
Yeah.
it's
That's
not
true.
gonna, it's outside of our control. And
Yeah.
so
That's true.
I just got to
Yeah.
go with the flow and go with it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, um, One thing I was curious too, now that you're back to competing, or will you be more active on social media? Because I noticed you haven't posted as much or as frequently.
Yeah. Yeah, so I am, like, I will be active a little bit on social media. Definitely, probably like during any like preps and stuff. I typically now try to pull off social media, just because I really, again, it's like I really have learned how to focus and hone my energy and on the things that are serving me the most positively and getting me
Yeah.
to my vision. Social media is great for getting my face out there and interacting with everybody who supports and loves and appreciates bodybuilding. But when it comes time for prep, that also takes my energy away from my prep.
Yeah.
And to
It's true.
show the best physique that I possibly can on stage, the social media aspect doesn't do it. It won't give me the best physique that I can put on stage. So
Yeah.
I try to just, you know, from time to time, I will maybe, interact with a few people online during prep, but I typically don't post anything
Yeah.
because I'm
Okay.
I'm so I'm putting my energy into so much other things like sleeping and resting and eating and training and focusing also on like my work and my business. So
Yeah.
I strategically will be utilizing social media in ways where I can, highlight some things and, share some things. But it's definitely not going to be as active as I used to be on social media.
Yeah.
Up
Good.
to like 2023, I was pretty active on social media, but I really found that when I wanted to put all my energy into something, it was really robbing me of that. And it was
Yeah.
creating a lot of like negative self talk and negative like self doubt, right? So
Mhm.
I realized once I put that away and I didn't have that extra noise in here, everything just started to really fall into place
That's good.
more and more. So,
That's good. Yeah, I can
mhm,
understand that. There's been so much research done on social media and the algorithms and how detrimental it can be too. So yeah, I think it's better to
yeah.
look out for you and your activities and the doom scroll is that's a real thing. It can be a big problem for
It
people.
can be, yeah,
Mm.
for sure. Like I used to doom scroll for hours, and then now on my phone, I make sure I watch my productivity, and I've brought my social media use down to almost like 3 minutes a day sometimes. So,
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
and I used to be one of those ones up late at night doom scrolling the TikTok for hours and hours and hours and going into a time warp with it. And
Oh no, yeah,
yeah, it
that's
was like
not
one of
good.
those ones where it's like the opposite. And now it's like, okay, I allot myself on some days, maybe 5 minutes on there to look at what I need to see. And then
Yeah.
if I need to see something or if I need to do something that's going to serve me or serve others in a positive way, then I'll do that. But just to scroll and I didn't even know who was competing at the Vancouver. I didn't even look at the athlete list when
Oh,
it
you
came
didn't?
out. I didn't know
I
who was competing at all.
Oh, I think I offered to send it to you and you said, no, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be a surprise, and it was amazing too because I actually at the Paula Viveros who competed on stage.
Yeah.
We competed as amateurs together back in 2019 in women's
Oh,
physique at the
really?
TNT Muscle Showdown. Yeah, that was our last amateur show together, and
Wow.
we stood on stage side by side together, and I haven't seen her. I haven't competed with her since 2019.
Oh, wow.
And it was like an amazing surprise to be able to see her and Victoria and step on stage with her and be right beside her again because she is an amazing athlete too. Like she's got beautiful physique and energy too on stage.
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting you mentioned her because Nadine Phoenix, who I interviewed earlier today, mentioned the same thing about her, about
Yeah.
Paola and just how awesome she is. So that's
Yeah, she is incredible. She is such a beautiful person, and it was so amazing to see her and share the stage with her. And I
hmm.
love watching her pose and do her routines too because she is amazing at it.
I'm not too familiar with her. I definitely have to look her up. She sounds like a really cool person, though. Maybe
She is amazing. It would be really cool for you to interview her. I think you would have a lot of fun talking to her.
great. I'll have to definitely track her down and talk to
Yeah.
her. Yeah, that sounds good. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Now I was curious if you've heard from any new fans since Van Isle, because I hope the fans are reaching out to you about your awesomeness. They might maybe not were familiar with you before.
Yeah, it's actually this is kind of one of the shows that is been the most in that regard. And just like opening up new doors for me.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, and it was one of
Hmm.
those, again, it was like one of those little messages that I kept hearing about this Man Isle Showdown. This show can, this is going to open some doors for you, and, be ready for it. And thought, okay, this is really interesting. I guess we'll see how this plays out. And yeah, no, after I came off stage and did the thing, yes, I had messages, and just my phone started blowing up and getting all these
Hmm.
new requests. And I was, lucky enough to be down at the CPA's BC Cup yesterday, with the new gym that I'm working with. Aesthetic Nation in West Kelowna. We were down there, and it was really nice to, see all the athletes competing. And I haven't been to a local show, and like, I mean, Kelowna is where I started competing
Okay.
in
Wow.
2014. I did my first natural figure show here.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was first show ever. So it was really nice to actually like get out into the community and actually be a presence at the show. And yeah, we
Hmm.
had lots of fun, took some flexies, and it was really nice to see some of the, to actually watch and, see some of the athletes, and
Hmm.
support them, and yeah, and just be there.
That's great. No, I'm glad about that. I'm glad your fan base is growing because you did have a
Hmm.
great look. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no, that's cool. Um, and you're just a cool person in general, so that's cool. Yeah.
Thank you. So are you. I love
Oh, thank
talking with
you.
you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. No, so you are still coaching folks. Are you doing lifestyle and bodybuilding clients?
So obviously I completely left the coaching business for a while, training business, fitness, everything. After I had my surgeries, I explored
Yeah.
some different areas of my passions. And then so now I am getting back into personal training and coaching.
Okay.
I'm keeping it more in the in person, actually. So
Oh, cool. Yeah.
in person, being able to see my clients every few days and actually be with them in person. Online coaching is great, but I'm so much more about face to face, connections and contact, and doing that. And I realize too, I think just for what I offer, online coaching just really isn't where I'm going to thrive. I really do better on the in person.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
yeah.
Aesthetic Nation had a really great opportunity for me to come and be a part of their personal training team.
Okay.
So I'll be training people out of Aesthetic Nation Gym in West Kelowna.
Okay.
And yeah, and we're just gonna go from there. It's gonna be people who really, really want to, work with me, and have an open mind on how to approach fitness, health, and just wellness overall. And going through this process really allowed me to um, increase the quality of the service that I offer in regards to like one of the things that I explored during my recovery was Reiki, is energy healing. I
Yeah.
believe in that wholeheartedly, just from my own experience and how I was able to heal with that. So I decided to actually go and get certified as a level 2 Reiki practitioner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
So I could serve others in that same way with their, things that they struggle with in their energy, traumas from the past, or, things that are holding them back from really being their happiest self, and being able to offer that to them as well. So it's
Hmm.
now I've been able to really incorporate different modalities of holistic wellness
Okay.
into what I'm offering my clients for a more well-rounded approach to my coaching and my training services.
Yeah, I think before we started recording, you mentioned you had Reiki helped you through your back ordeal and stuff too. So that's
Yes,
great. Yeah.
yes. I mean, the changes and the things that I had felt, and even my better half, after I went through my Reiki sessions and things, like, he couldn't believe the changes that happened, not only like emotionally, mentally, physically in my body. I was feeling just such different things that I'd
Hmm.
never felt before.
Hmm.
And I just felt so much more space within like my own being, and I
Hmm.
was able to get rid of so much that was taking up so much space. in my field that it was able to make room for all the new good things to integrate into my life.
Mm,
So
that's
it
great.
was really transformative. It was life changing. It was powerful. It was healing. And I feel really honored and now and grateful now to be able to offer that to the clients that I'm going to be working with.
And if folks wanted to reach out for you for coaching, could they just reach out via Instagram, I guess, or?
They can reach out to me via Instagram, yeah, and they can have we I can give them my contact information.
Okay.
Or if they're local to Kelowna or West Kelowna, they can hit up Aesthetic Nation Gym and come on in and meet me and chat with me. And I'm going to be out and about in the community here in Kelowna and West Kelowna. So yeah,
Okay.
Instagram, email, in person, whatever way they would like to reach out to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Terrific. That's
yeah,
great. I think that's good that you're doing that.
yeah,
And have kind of got that business started up again too. So that's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's about all for questions. I just wondered if there's
Wonderful.
anybody you'd like to shout out.
Yes. Oh, yes, there is definitely. And I've kind of flailed on that, honestly. Just with the adrenaline of everything, I want to make sure that I do name everybody who really supported me, because there has been a lot. Obviously, my parents, my family, they've always supported my dreams. And I mean, they're there. They're with me at shows. They're with me during my prep, and my better half Olaf too. He's amazing. I coach myself, but he's like a secondary coach with me.
Great.
He keeps me level, and he's also a voice of reason, and he
Yeah.
takes care of me, and I wouldn't want to share this experience with anybody else in my life. Peter,
Perfect.
like I said. Also, too, there's a few people here. So Ross Duncan is somebody here in Kelowna who's quite a fixture in the bodybuilding world. He used to be a judge, an
Okay.
NPC judge, and he's local here to Kelowna. And so he's quite the fixture in our community. He's like, he he gets the bodybuilding community together and really likes to help out people. And he really helped give me some really helpful insights and tips while I was prepping myself, and really kept me motivated and kept me going. And yeah, he's just amazing too. And he would kind of give me little cues here and there of things that I could maybe work on, or things that were looking really good. And so yeah, he was huge support as well.
Okay.
um
Great.
yeah, and I don't I again, there is so many people. Lily Amareus, she is my Reiki master. Like, she has transformed my life. And yeah, just yeah. Everybody who's
Perfect.
close to me in my life, and they know who they are, like you, even for having me on here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this, like, since we since we scheduled
Oh,
this. So
thank you.
it's just really nice to be back, and be back in a positive way, and as a more mature, more evolved pro competitor who's looking at
Yeah.
things from a different set of eyes now. So
Yeah. That's terrific. Thank you. No, I
mhm.
appreciate that. And appreciate you taking the time to interview with me again. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Especially
so much.
as one of my originals back in the day. I was like,
Yes.
that's so cool. Yeah.
It's just so good to see that this podcast is just, and your channel is growing and
Thank
thriving.
you.
And I just can't wait to see it grow and thrive more for you,
Thank you.
because it's so amazing to have somebody as appreciative and such a fan of what we do in the industry. Because it's not for everybody. So we really
Yeah.
do. Myself, I really cherish and value the ones who are as genuine and appreciative of what we do as you are. So thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like telling y'all stories and I think y'all all the muscle ladies are just fascinating people in general. So yeah, it's cool to,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, so no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I was curious too, do you have any sponsors or would you like to get sponsors? I know, of course, bodybuilding is an expensive sport, so
It is. I would love sponsors. Absolutely.
yeah,
I have, since I started competing, it's been funded by, working my butt off. That's,
yeah,
I haven't had sponsors for I had one sponsor, a private sponsor for my 2023 show,
okay,
which was amazing. He was a private sponsor and he helped me get to the Toronto Pro stage and really pushed me. And I'm eternally grateful for that. But right now I don't. I'm just it's me and my better half who really helps me. Like we really work together on this. So yeah, he supports me and we try to support each other as much as possible. And he wants me to achieve my dream. And yeah, he's supportive as well. So we work together as a team to make it happen because teamwork makes the dream work. So
that's terrific. That's great that he supports you like that. And
yeah, he
Kevin does
does.
too. Kevy's the,
Oh, yes, he does. He is my emotional support. He was with me in Victoria. So,
I
yeah,
think
he went on a nice long road trip.
you can make like cute dog videos of him and then they go viral and then you make money off the YouTube revenue or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's a star. He's a star too.
He's so cute.
And
He's
he
got,
knows it.
oh, I know. He's
Yeah,
adorable. And he's behaved so well. He's just been sitting there
he
just chilling and
has.
yeah, he's so
Yeah, he's
sweet.
been
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, sometimes he can get quite chatty.
Oh, really?
And so yeah, no, he is doing really, really good today. So I'm very proud of this little munchkin.
You said he's 2 years old, I think.
He is 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, he's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's so
Thank
cool.
you.
I'm glad that he joined us and yeah, I don't know if he knows English. I'm not going to ask him a question.
I think you know what? I think he does because I tell you, he understands what I tell him. But I did buy him a little special carrier, so he may actually be joining me at some of these shows and things that I'll be coming down to. I just
Cool.
want him with me all the time, everywhere. So I think he might be starting to do a little bit more traveling with me, and I'll bring him
Can you bring
around.
him? Are you allowed to bring him to the gym or?
I can bring him to the gym. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
bring him to
uh-huh.
the gym if I want to.
I think
So
he'd
yeah.
probably be a pretty big hit at the gym. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, everywhere I bring him, and people just they love him, and well, he's cute and he knows it. So
He is. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. Um, well, thank you, Kara. I
thank
do,
you.
as part of, the deal, the drill, if you don't mind asking me or to do it a couple poses for me would be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, look at that. Great biceps. Thank you. Yeah. Your biceps look really great at Van Isle. I was impressed.
Thank you. Yeah, they felt good.
Yeah. And I
So
thought your abs looked really good too. Abs and pecs were really good. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's funny because this one was a normally we've always focused on my back. Like my back has always been the where I like to show off, and it was really nice to actually be able to feel, bring in the front as good as I did and really actually focus on the front part of me
Uh-huh.
where you could actually see my presence this year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, yeah, definitely. And it helped you stand out too, for sure. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kara. It's great to see you
Thanks
again.
again.
And thanks to
Yeah.
Kevy. And
Yes.
and I'll try to get this posted probably later today. So I'll tag
Yeah.
you, of course.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a good rest of your Sunday.